see if Sam is ready. Let's see if Sam is here. There's Sam. All right. I don't hear you. I can't hear you. No sound.
There it is. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Can you see Sam?
I can see Sam, parts of Sam, but that's all right. I can see parts of him.
All right.
Sam needs a haircut.
That's all right, Sam. I need a haircut too. My hair.
Can we adjust it? How about there? How's he looking now?
Now he looks fabulous.
You as well, hon. All right, I'm going to leave you two alone.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam. I'm glad that you are here.
Yes. I was actually here an hour ago because I thought it was at 9 o'clock, but it was at 10 o'clock. It's okay. It's our fault. It's our fault. It's Cindy's fault. It's okay.
Oh, isn't it? Well, you got to blame somebody.
Absolutely.
All right. So we are already recording. We're already broadcasting live. And
Okay.
I'm excited that you're here. So let me go ahead and do the introductions, and then we will get started. I also sent you a opportunity to join us again at 12 o'clock if your schedule will permit. For some reason, I'm spinning. Okay. Hopefully, we got a good signal. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Am I the first victim?
You are, yes, you're the first victim, and I'm glad you're here.
No problem.
All right. Hi, this is Nicole with the Ecom Seller Summit, and today we have with us this morning Mr. Sam Cohen. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Nicole. How are you? How's everybody doing?
Oh, it looks like we're good. We've got people piling into the room, so we'll go ahead and get started. So first, I wanted to give you the opportunity to share with our audience a little bit about yourself and then a little bit about your e-commerce journey.
Sure. So I started, I used to be an executive at an electronics company back in 2008, 2009. And, you know, when the economy changed and everything changed back then, we were told that anybody who was making a high salary was either going to be let go or was in for a drastic pay cut. So for the next couple of years, I left the company. For the next couple of years, I really struggled to find my next move. And I was selling in flea markets and street fairs and just hustling on the side, you know, buying from one person, selling to another person. And then I started doing eBay where I'd had previous success. And so I tried to sell I was selling DVDs for $1 a piece in the flea market. And then I tried to sell 1,000 of them at one time on eBay, you know, as a wholesale buy or as a bulk buy. And somebody messaged me in the beginning of 2011. He asked me how many of these are good quality and how many of them are not so good quality. Mm-hmm. And what I had done was I had put my own DVDs into the mix to make it more attractive to the buyer. So there was better titles in there and it was more enticing. So we ended up talking through eBay, and I asked him, you know, what are you doing with these? And he said, you know, we sell on Amazon and we sell about 1,000 DVDs a month. And so, of course, I went on to Google and I said, how do you sell on Amazon? And there wasn't a lot of information out there back then like there is now about how to sell on Amazon. And I just literally worked 18 hours a day for 6 months till I figured it out. And, you know, once I figured it out, we started doing a ton of business, selling, you know, old DVD movies. And then I was talking to a software company that was helping Amazon sellers. And they kept telling me I have to do this, what's called FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. And so it took me another few months to figure out what that was and how that worked and how to print labels and pack boxes and create shipments and all the fun stuff. And once I figured that out, it's the switch went on and we started doing, 6 figures a month, 7 figures a year on Amazon. And this was back in 2011. Our business has doubled in size every year since then. Last year, we did over $20 million in sales. And my business is 8 years old now, so it kind of runs on autopilot. I have people that have been with me for 7.5 of those 8 years. So they know the rules. They know the game as well as I do. And so about 4 years ago, I pivoted. I guess I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I started a consulting business where we teach people how to make money selling on Amazon. So I was actually bored with my Amazon business, and I started helping people on Facebook in all these Amazon groups, answering questions because there was nobody there to answer for me when I had the questions. So I found myself spending about 8 hours a day on Facebook answering questions for new sellers. And I said, wait a second, this is taking up most of my day, and it's probably costing me a lot of money from not paying attention to my own business. So I said, what if there was a way I can keep doing this because it was so fulfilling to help people and have it not cost me money? So I came up with this concept of working with 100 Amazon sellers for a period of 1 year. And we came out with a price point that we thought would be fair, but it would also allow people to make a lot of money. And the price point was $5,000. And within a week, we got 100 people to sign up at $5,000. So I was able to offset some of the money I lost from not focusing on my own business. And the results we had were astounding. I mean, we took people from 0 to 2.5 million within a year. We took people from 10, 20,000 a month to 300,000 a month. We took, we're working with solo entrepreneurs. We're working with people that are in corporate America, working with doctors, lawyers, people who work for hedge funds. I mean, realtors, baby boomers. We even had some teenagers that were doing it with their parents. One of my clients came up with a brilliant concept called e-commerce kids, where she taught the kids everything I was teaching her, and they went into business with their parents, and they ended up doing, like millions of dollars on Amazon. So it's pretty wild. And then we migrated to where we were doing a lot more working with big companies. One of the largest companies in the fashion and footwear industry called us, and I have a non-disclosure agreement with them, but they're like, listen, we don't know what we're doing. We don't want to sell to Amazon. They're hurting our brand. They're hurting our products. They're hurting our prices. They're affecting our retail sales. And there's a company that sells into, Saks and Nordstrom and Bergdorf and Barney's. So, we were able to work with them on the Amazon platform to protect their brand, protect their image, protect the pricing, control the inventory. And now they're doing $2 million a month on Amazon. We're also working with companies like, 5 Hour Energy, Casper Mattresses, Harry's Razors, some big companies that need help in the Amazon space. And so we're helping everybody from solo entrepreneurs all the way up to Fortune 500 companies about how to build an Amazon business and then how to scale an Amazon business. So we focus on, building the foundation and the infrastructure. And then we like to walk them through, some time management exercises where they document every single thing they do for every hour of the 168-hour week. Like, how much time did you eat? How much time did you sleep? How much time did you work? How much time did you pack boxes? How much time were you doing sourcing? And then we figure out what they can do to make themselves more efficient and thereby earn more money. And I always tell people, if you want to earn $1,000 a day on Amazon, that means you have to make $100 an hour if you're working 10 hours. So you can't be doing $10 an hour work, which is packing boxes. So, people always tell me, well, why should I pay someone $10 an hour to pack my boxes when I could do it myself for free? And I try to explain to them that it's not really free. It's really costing you $100 because your time can be better spent doing something else. So you're better off outsourcing that work, hiring someone, teaching someone, and that's how you grow a business. So we look at things like we document everything, kind of like Amazon does. And we say, okay, here's a list of things that need to be done for our business to be successful. How can we delegate this? How can we automate this? How can we outsource this? How can we eliminate this? There's a lot of things people do that don't really translate to money in business. They just think it's important and they do it, and they don't really analyze whether or not it makes sense for their business to do it. They just feel like it's something they have to do. So we look at delegating, automating, outsourcing, eliminating, what kind of standard operating procedures can we put in place? What kind of processing, logistics, infrastructure, technology, software, that we can incorporate that'll make us more efficient and more easy to scale without, an obscenely sized labor force. So we're able to do, $20 million in business with 20 employees. There's no other business in the world that has that kind of ratio. We also look at everything systematically. So if there's a project that we need done, we'll look if there's a piece of software that we can pay, let's say $50 or $100 a month, or whatever the number is, $10 a month, to automate the process for us. And we've done very well with finding software to automate processes. And if that's not a solution, then we escalate it to our team in the Philippines. We have a team of virtual assistants that do work on our behalf and our clients' behalf. And those people make anywhere from, let's say, $2 to $8 an hour. And they live very well in the Philippines on that salary. And if that doesn't work, then we escalate it to our team here in New Jersey. Obviously, they get paid a lot more. And they try to find a solution. And if that doesn't work, then it comes to my desk. So we have that escalation where, that's how we try to solve problems or handle projects in that sequence so that it's cost effective and efficient. And, we're able to grow the business. We do a lot of creative things, for lack of a better word. We opened a brick and mortar retail store. We furnished the store. We filled up the store with merchandise. We hired buyers that used to work for Macy's and Nordstrom's. We flew them out to trade shows. We opened wholesale accounts with some really big companies. We provided bank and trade references. We hit their minimum order quantities, and we were able to open and establish accounts with some very big companies that 99% of Amazon sellers don't have access to. So things like that we do. We also, when we sign up a new client, the first thing we do is we get user permissions to their account, and then we get them approved for as many categories and as many brands as possible. And we take the top 4,000 brands that we've sold ourselves over the last 8 years on Amazon, and we try to get them approved for all 4,000 brands. And then we give them a spreadsheet with the results. And then as they do more volume, they start getting more and more approved, for higher end brands like Nike or, those types of brands. So we have a very systematic approach. We have an unbelievable track record of success. 98% of our clients that have been with us for a year are selling at least $50,000 a month on Amazon with, at least $10,000 a month in gross profits. Most of our clients are doing 6 figures a month, 7 figures a year. And the typical profit margins are anywhere from 20 to 30%.
Nice, nice.
We work with people that do retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, closeouts and liquidations, private label, inventors, retailers, manufacturers. I mean, we're a fully staffed consulting business now. We have a team of 40 people between here in New Jersey and the Philippines, and we have another 350 people on standby in India if we get a big project. We were doing some projects for some really big platforms, some really big manufacturers that have, thousands of SKUs, and, they have massive goals on Amazon. And so that obviously requires manpower. So we scale up on an as-needed basis. We provide custom quotes to each client based on the scope of work and who's going to be doing the work and how much time it's going to take and whose time it's going to take, right? Because if it's going to take my time, it's going to be more expensive than it's going to take one of my employees' times. So we come in as a strategic business partner where we treat it as if it's our own business, and we do everything in our power to give you the best chance to succeed on Amazon, whether that means, creating and optimizing listings, images, image enhancements, infographics, sponsored ads campaigns, PPC campaigns. We also help people build up their social media visibility on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it. We're able to help build brand awareness and drive traffic to Amazon, or to, we help people with Shopify websites. So it's really anything to do with e-commerce, because e-commerce is evolving as not just Amazon. So
right.
we try to help people. We have a very close relationship with one of the main guys over at eBay. So a lot of our clients, want to do eBay as a supplement to Amazon. So we're able to help them with that. We have relationships with Jet and Walmart and Rakuten and Newegg and Sears. And we have integrations and proprietary software that can help with that, and Shopify. So anything that someone wants to do with regards to e-commerce, we're able to provide a solution. And it's usually going to be a fraction of what they would pay someone with our knowledge, expertise, experience, and manpower, just sheer manpower. I mean, we have experts here that can help in any aspect of e-commerce. And I'm kind of like the puppet master, that coordinates everything.
Oh my gosh.
And it's great. I love what I do, and we're great at what we do, and thank God. And it's absolutely been a blessing to be able to succeed and to be able to help people succeed. I spend 90% of my time now on my consulting business and 10% of my time on my other businesses, because that's what I enjoy.
That is so nice. Oh my God. You gave us a wealth of information. If you did not pick up a pen and pad before he started talking, you want to run and go get one, really, because clearly he knows what he's doing. Clearly he knows what he's talking about. And clearly he's been doing this longer than I have, and probably longer than most, with the exception of maybe one or two people that have been doing most of the speakers that we've had. So Sam, I'm so glad that you're here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I love to be able to share what I've learned, share from my mistakes, share from my successes, and, hopefully help people achieve the dream of, time freedom, financial freedom, lifestyle freedom. And it's really, it's been a blessing to be able to, make my own schedule and be my own boss, and, spend time with my kids and my grandkids. And, it's really been able to, we've literally changed people's lives, not only their businesses, but their lives. And, we have hundreds of success stories, and we've worked with, so many people from all walks of life. Our youngest client is like 12 and our oldest client is like 80. So
I love it.
And we have people in, over 40 countries. We have clients in Australia. We have clients in Israel, Russia, India, you name it. Everyone's trying to figure out what to do with Amazon. We have big retailers calling us saying, listen, I see the writing on the wall. If I don't get into Amazon, I'm going to be out of business in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
I get a call from the manufacturer saying, listen, most of our retailers are struggling. They're not buying what they used to. We got to get into the Amazon game or we're going to be in trouble in 3 to 5 years. So everyone's got the same concerns with the 800-pound gorilla in the room that is Amazon. And, we have the solutions to help people. We do a deep dive analysis on what they are as a business and what they're looking to do as a business and what their goals are. Some people want to build brand awareness. Some people want to drive top line revenue. Some people want to drive bottom line profits. And some people want to do all the above,
Yes.
So we really do a comprehensive market analysis. We study the Amazon ecosystem. We study the competitors. We study the metrics, the numbers. And one great thing about what we do is we pay 6 figures a year to get data directly from Amazon, as opposed to a lot of these third-party softwares, which are great, but at the end of the day, they're just guessing from a whole bunch of data points, and they're making an educated guess. So we get actual data from Amazon with regards to sales velocity, with regards to keywords, with regards to competitors, with regards to pretty much anything you would want to know about Amazon. We have access to that information due to our relationship with Amazon. We could also get people approved in things that they wouldn't normally get approved in, like topicals or CBD oil. I should say hemp oil.
It depends on where you live, whether or not you can call.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
And we have a lot of clients who sell internationally on Amazon's other marketplaces. We have software integrators that can integrate all your e-commerce platforms. So you have one dashboard that can control your whole e-commerce business. We have software that if you had your own website, you can have Amazon fulfill those orders that you make on your website. If it's a Shopify site, we use programs where we can list stuff on eBay, and then if it sells, we can have Amazon automatically ship the orders to the eBay customers.
Yes.
There's a lot of things you can do these days that you couldn't do 5-10 years ago, and it's just there's never been a better time to be in e-commerce.
Oh, yes. Our motto is e-commerce never sleeps. That's for sure.
That's true. And if you listen to Jeff Bezos, who's a pretty smart guy, he says we're still on day one. We're still in the first inning of e-commerce.
Wow.
More, some people say, "Oh, it's saturated. You can't make money."
No.
We got hundreds of clients that say otherwise.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
A couple of people were asking the name of your business. So it is Amazon Consulting Experts, and it's actually on his under his title. So Amazon Consulting Experts. And I want to allow you the opportunity first before you start. I want everybody to know that All Access Pass members, you are entered into a one drawing where one winner will get a free membership. That $5,000 membership that he talked about, he's giving away one. So if you are not an All Access Pass holder, you might want to go grab it real quick.
Absolutely.
He's going to be giving away at the end of the summit, he's going to be giving it away to one winner that holds the All Access Pass.
And
you have an event that is coming up.
Yes, I wanted to talk about that. We do an annual conference here in the beautiful state of New Jersey, right by the ocean. We've been doing it. This will be our 4th year. We get guest speakers from all over the world. We get Amazon. Amazon shows up. eBay shows up. Jet shows up. FedEx, UPS, you name it. All different software providers and service providers. Hundreds of e-commerce sellers, talking and networking and figuring out, best practices. And we get speakers, talk about from newbies to advanced. It's in a beautiful place this year called Southgate Manor in Freehold, New Jersey, because we outgrew our previous space. There's going to be delicious meals. There's going to be alcohol for those of you that drink. There's going to be live music. One of my good friends is a professional musician. He's going to be playing for a couple of hours at the end of the night. And it's just going to be speaker after speaker, just sharing knowledge. We'll give you a schedule of who's speaking next so that if you'd rather network or eat something or use the restroom, you could do that. Well, if you're not so interested in the speaker's topic. And it's really, if you look on the internet, it's been voted one of the top Amazon conferences in the world 3 years running. It does sell out pretty quickly. We're in mid-March right now. The event is being held on June 30th, which is a Sunday in New Jersey. We still have tickets left. And what I was going to talk to you about off camera was I could give your audience a $50 off coupon for the tickets. So
Thank you, Sam.
now
Yes.
I said it, and it's recorded, so it has to be done.
Yay! So if you all want to go to New Jersey, June 30th, definitely we'll get that 50% off. We'll make sure we email that out to everybody and grab your ticket.
And we have people coming, from as far away as Australia for this conference. So it's really a tremendous opportunity. I've been blessed to go to Amazon headquarters on multiple occasions. I've been blessed to speak all over the world about Amazon and what it means to the current marketplace in places like Australia, Russia, India, Canada. So there's a lot that happens with Amazon that changes the dynamics of a marketplace. When Amazon comes in, a lot of things change. They're a disruptor, and they might eat into someone's margins. They might, disrupt someone's business. So you need to know, if you're in business at all, you need to know what Amazon is doing at all given times. And it seems like every day there's another major announcement.
Yes.
With Amazon, what they're doing with whether it be Whole Foods or healthcare or, changes or new marketplaces or, new initiatives. And really it's an unbelievable, business opportunity. I've been in pretty much every business in this world. I've sold everything from mortgages to buildings to DVDs to toys to, insurance, you name it. And I've never had a business opportunity like this where it's infinitely scalable and it's, you can literally start with a few $1,000s and at the end of the year you could have a 7-figure business. So I've seen it happen. I've made it happen time and time again with clients. We normally recommend the client has, at least a few $1,000s to buy inventory so that you can build that momentum and, reinvest the money and have it snowball. But we've had people start with a few $100s. We've had people start with a few $100,000. So there's really no specific amount of money you need to get started to be successful. And it's the same thing with time. Those are the two main questions I get asked. How much money do I need and how much time do I need? Time is relative. We make the time for the things that matter. So if it's important to you to be successful, financially successful, and have, be able to make your own schedule and have your own time and spend time with your loved ones, you'll make the time for it. Some people work 1 hour a day. Some people work 18 hours a day. I used to work 18 hours a day, and I've since scaled that back to, let's say, 10 to 12 hours a day. But there's also days I don't work at all. If there's a beautiful day in the summer and I want to go out on my boat or on the beach, I'm going to do that because I can. And I've set the business up where I can be a business owner and not a business operator. Right? So I work on the business. I don't work in the business. And I'm a big Tony Robbins guy. So a lot of what I say is a repetition of what Tony says. But you want to make sure you work in the business, not on the business. You want to make sure you're an owner, not an operator, so that if you're away from the office for a week, you're not losing any money. Your systems are running smoothly. Obviously, that's a next level thinking. But, every decision I made from the day I started this business was, okay, I'm not going to take any shortcuts. I'm not going to do anything illegal. I'm not going to do anything that violates terms of service. I'm going to build it the right way for a long-term, sustainable, profitable business. And every time I ask myself, how do I automate this? How do I outsource this? How do I delegate this? How do I eliminate this? How do I scale this? How do I use software or logistics or infrastructure or technology or processing or standard operating procedures? How do I put all those things in place so that we have a well-oiled machine? And then, every time in this business, for whoever gets into this business, you're going to have different challenges at different stages of the business. And by stages, I mean months. The first month, you're not going to know what the heck you're doing. Second month, you're going to know what you're doing, something, a little bit more. Then you're going to run out of money because you're going to be finding so many products that you can't buy. And then you're going to have to manage the inventory, manage the pricing. And then you're going to have to hire staff, and that brings its own challenges. You may want to get a warehouse. Some people never want to get a warehouse, never want to have employees. So it really depends. I started from a one-bedroom apartment. I moved into a 10 by 10 office. Within a week, I realized it was too small. So I paid the month's rent, and I moved to a bigger place and bigger place and bigger place. I moved like 5 times in the last 8 years because we kept outgrowing the space.
Okay.
And nobody was happy about moving that many times, but we had to do it.
Oh my gosh. So I do want to plug this, and I do want to come back to that moving. If you did not hear, he's given a 50% off for his event in June. And I'm going to give you a heads up that probably my business partner will be there because during that time we have our special needs of family event that we go to, and it's the same time. But you want to definitely get in the space where he is because they're probably giving away an enormous amount of knowledge and information from the stage. If you're able to travel, June 30th is the date. It's in New Jersey, the one-day event. And he mentioned earlier the replay will be up probably in about, I'm going to guess in about the next 3 hours or less. But the replay will be up, and then you'll be able to go to his page and get the information. I'll get with his team and get the information. So
and just one clarification: it's $50 off, not 50% off.
Not $50, but yeah.
Only because if we do the same thing for anybody that helps us promote the conference.
Yes. So $50 off. Sorry, I didn't know that. Okay, so there was so much. I had like a list, and so my mind is blown, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to talk to you. So I'm trying to remember all the things I want to talk about. But you just talked about moving from place to place to place, and people who want to handle inventory and people who don't want to handle inventory. So you started off in an apartment, and then you ended up scaling up. So for those people that are like, they're into their first 6 months of the journey. We're not going to talk about all people, but maybe they're just doing it part-time.
Right.
To you, what would be one, you just give us one little tip or maybe 2 little tips that you would give them if I'm in my first 6 months, I'm doing it part-time, and I want to scale. I don't want to overscale because I don't want to have a warehouse. What is like one tip you might give a person like that?
So a couple of things. One thing I would tell you is if you've invested money into inventory, keep the money in the business as long as possible so that it has a chance to compound, has a chance to multiply. Because if you're going to put, let's say, $5,000 in and then you're going to pull it out a month later to pay some bills, your business is not going to grow. So for the first 2 years of my business, I didn't take a penny out. I just kept buying inventory. We call feed the beast.
Yeah.
Just send it into Amazon and they'll take care of the rest. So that's one thing. The other thing I would focus on is, always be learning. There's always things that you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So there's tons of free content on YouTube. Some of it's good, some of it's not. Some of it breaks the rules, some of it doesn't. If you can, if you're serious about this business, you may want to get a mentor. There's nobody better than us at that. Go to conferences. Learn from other people, join some Facebook groups, go on LinkedIn. There's tons of valuable information, and just keep learning and keep growing and keep trying, and don't suffer from analysis paralysis. A lot of people are so scared to make a mistake that they give themselves no chance to succeed. I've had people come to me with like, hey, Sam, I have $100,000 to buy inventory, but I'm scared to buy anything. And I'm like, you're never going to be successful unless you change your mindset, because I'd rather see you buy something and lose $5 and learn a valuable lesson than not buy at all and just be out of business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So experience is education.
Yes, it is.
So get out there. The two biggest reasons I see that people fail is they fail to get started and they fail to follow through. So if you're one of those people that just procrastinates to start a business, that's one obstacle. If you're another one of those people that starts a business and within a month says, oh, this is not for me, there's another shiny object, let me go try that, and you go from business to business to business, and you don't immerse yourself in the business, you only dabble in it, and then you're never going to see the results that you want to see, and you'll have jumped into 50 different businesses, none of which will have been successful.
Absolutely.
So the people that succeed, they say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to invest X amount of time. I'm going to invest X amount of money. I'm going to commit to this for a year. I'm going to give it 110%. And I believe it's going to work. And those are the people that succeed.
So the awesome thing that Sam just reinforces, if you've been following the other speakers, he just basically told you some of the same things that we all are collectively saying. You know, he said reinvest into the business, reinvest, don't pull any money out. And so, you know, the first year. So if you're in the early stages, definitely pull the trigger and keep reinvesting. You'll need to make sure if this is your plan to pay your bills, then of course you're going to have way higher profit margins, but you need to keep reinvesting into the business in order to get it to the point where you can start scaling it.
And we actually do a comprehensive analysis of whether or not a client is a good fit with us. We do what's called an onboarding call, and we get to know everything about them. Where are they at in business? Where are they at in life? What is their health like? What are their tech skills like? What are their math skills like? What is their mindset like? What are their, spouses or significant others? Where are they in this? Are they on board with this, or do they tell them to go get a job?
Yes.
Do they have an entrepreneur mindset, or do they have an employee mindset? We put together a custom roadmap to help people succeed. Also, geography. We have some people that live in the middle of in the woods, and there's certain things that are challenging for them, or they live in another country and certain things, so there's many different ways for entrepreneurs to be successful in this business. There's no one right way to succeed. There's millions of ways to make money. You just have to make sure you're running in the right direction. Because you can run 100 miles an hour, but if you're running in the wrong direction, you're just going to get further away from your goal.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you for that tidbit. Like I said, I had a list of questions. So one of the people in the room, one of our participants, they asked, do you find that when your employees start working with you, because I know you said you had people that have been working with you up to 7.5 years, do they end up starting their own Amazon businesses?
So it's a very common question. Most people that are employees like to be employees. They like the steady paycheck. They're not risk takers. They're not entrepreneurs, or maybe they're not yet. We have had about 10 different people leave us and try to do what we do. And most of them have failed because they didn't understand the entire scope of the business. They only knew one component, let's say sourcing or shipping, so you really have to have a lot of assets, a lot of tools, a lot of skill sets, and most importantly, the right mindset to succeed. When I come into work every day, it's like, what's going to happen today? And, I sit here with my CFO, and we talk all day about how do we solve this problem. And problems just come up in business.
Yes, they do.
Maybe not problems, obstacles or challenges are better words. Yes. And our job is to figure out how to solve them and how to prevent them from happening in the future. And, as long as they don't put you out of business, they make you stronger,
Exactly.
We've helped a lot of our clients get reinstated after being wrongfully suspended from Amazon. We have a 100% track record of success with getting clients reinstated. We don't do it for the public, but if you were a client, that would be part of the membership. And, we help people figure out where to buy the products, what type of products to buy, how many they should buy, what to look for, what search parameters, based on how much is it selling for on Amazon, how much are the fees, how much is it costing us, what's the estimated sales velocity, how many competitors there are. Is it a seasonal product? Is it Christmas lights, or is it a bathing suit, or is it, a backpack for back to school, or whatever the case might be? There's about 20 or 30 seasons on Amazon that if you know what you're doing, you can really have like 20 or 30 Christmases in a year. We have clients that make a fortune all around the New Year's theme. We have clients that make a fortune all around Super Bowl. St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Passover, brides and graduates in June, and then summer stuff, like pool floats and this and that. And then August is back to school, and then October you have Halloween, and then, it just keeps going. Then you have Thanksgiving, and then obviously you have Christmas, which is the grand finale. We've done the same amount of business in October, November, December as we've done the first 9 months of the year. So just to put that in perspective, if we're doing $10 million in January through September, we could also do the same $10 million in the last 3 months of the year. That's how high Amazon spikes in the fourth quarter. And so if you wanted to monetize on that, you'd want to get into the game early enough, like in March or April or May or June, so that you know what you're doing by the time that comes around.
Right. And that is, I was going to ask that question, but I normally tell people, like, okay, if you're going to get into Q4, you probably want to start getting ready for Q4 no later than June, so that you can get a comfort level and get a rhythm going.
We start getting ready for Q4 on December 26th of the previous year.
There you go. See, the real ballers.
Yeah.
There are people that all they do is I just do Q4. I don't do anything else. And
I'm from Brooklyn. We don't sleep.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So you guys make a note. He starts getting ready December 31st, December 26th, which is really when you should. As soon as Christmas is over, let's get ready for Christmas again, because Q4 is amazing all by itself.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a blessing to be able to sell on Amazon, and it's a blessing to be able to help people.
So let me ask you, we talk a lot about Amazon. What is the second most platform where you help people optimize and get some real traction going in sales?
Sure. So we do a lot with Walmart, Jet, eBay. We do a lot with Shopify as a standalone website. We do a lot of Amazon International help. There's a lot of convoluted rules that you have to follow if you want to sell internationally. We partner with certain companies that are experts at international shipping and international currency and, VAT and logistics and all this stuff. But I always tell people, go start with Amazon.com, because that's the lowest hanging fruit. And until you're doing 6 figures a month on Amazon, which is not hard to do, you shouldn't be looking at all the other secondary and tertiary marketplaces, because it won't be the best use of your time. The best use of your time is to maximize Amazon.com. And then you can look at Amazon UK, you can look at eBay, you can look at Walmart, Jet. But at the end of the day, most of the rain happens on Amazon.com. Even the Canadians, 9 out of 10 Canadians shop on Amazon.com because there's the selection of products, the pricing, the availability, the robustness of the site. It's a different game, Amazon.com versus the international markets. And there's nobody in this world that comes close to Amazon when it comes to e-commerce. I mean, eBay is like this now. Walmart, Jet, Rakuten, Newegg, Sears. We've done them all,
Okay.
And it's just like, hey, we got an order from this website. And I'm like, hey, we got 1,000 orders from Amazon.
Yes. Yeah. Amazon.
Where should I spend my time,
Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So those that are interested in like warehouse services, there's different companies that are popping up all over the U.S. And these warehouse services will 100% manage your. Some will, not all. Some will manage your entire Amazon account. Some will help manage and facilitate and store your inventory. Tell me what you think about some of the warehouse services space.
So yeah, there's been a whole cottage industry that's developed around Amazon sellers called prep centers. A good friend of mine, Greg Purdy, has a website called selleressentials.com, and he's got a list of every prep center in the country, where they're located, what they'll do for you, what they won't do for you. I think he even puts what they'll charge you. And it's really, it's for people that want to be more hands-off. And we've had clients that have never had a warehouse, never had an employee, never even touched a physical product, and they just work on their laptops or their computers, and they manage spreadsheets, and they create shipments, and they manage pricing and inventory, and they don't have to pick, prep, pack, label, ship stuff to Amazon, box, palletize, all that stuff that we do here. 99% of people are sane enough to realize they don't want to do that, Okay. I'm one of the 1% that decided we needed a big warehouse and a lot of employees, and it's a blessing and a curse,
Yes, sometimes there's boxes of tape everywhere, and sometimes there's okay.
Yeah, but we bought deals that were like 100 pallets. So if you didn't have a warehouse and employees, you wouldn't be able to do that deal. So
that's true.
If we buy toys from Mattel or Hasbro or Fisher Price, and they're no longer going to be made, and we buy the last 5,000 pieces, we need somewhere to put them until we can sell them all.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
So.
Okay, so for those who have been on the e-commerce journey for a little while, maybe they've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years. They've leveled off, but now they're ready to scale. They're ready to start the process of growing their business just a little bit more than maybe what they've been receiving in profits every single month. What's just one tip you might give them, or one thing you might tell them to look at or do differently, or just a suggestion, one suggestion?
So this might sound self-serving, but get yourself a mentor, whether it's paid or unpaid. One of the most frequent calls I get is, hey, Sam, I've been doing Amazon for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and I've hit a plateau of 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 50,000 a month, and I just can't get past it. And I say, okay, if you work with us for a year, I guarantee you'll at least double it. And some people have 10x'd it. So we had a guy came to us. I don't want to mention his name because he's very private, but he was doing 20 to 30 grand a month. And the guy's like the hardest worker you'll ever meet. Really smart guy, really good guy. And he's like, I just can't get past this number no matter what I do. And I said, okay, do you trust me? And he said, yes. I said, okay, you know me, you like me, and you trust me. So let's work together for a year, and I promise you'll see results. And at the end of the year, now it's not only us. He did a lot of the work that we told him to do. He calls me. He's like, what do I do, boss? And, he calls me boss. And whatever I tell him to do, he comes back to me 12 hours later. He's like, okay, what's next? That's done. What's next? He takes massive action. Yes. I have a lot of Tony Robbins people. I have a lot of Russell Brunson's people. I have a lot of, entrepreneurs, alpha males, alpha females, realtors, and people that have been successful, and, franchise owners. And, we've had doctors call us from Puerto Rico after the hurricane saying, hey, I need to make money. The economy is devastated here. And, well, I want to put my kids or my wife or your parents into business, And, we've worked with all different types of people. And I always say, get yourself a mentor because you'll learn from other people's mistakes so you don't make those mistakes. You'll accelerate the learning curve by years and years and years, and probably by tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes. Okay? And I always tell people, you don't know what you don't know. So if you're sitting there saying, oh, I know how to do Amazon, I know everything. I don't know everything. I'm up till 2 in the morning learning every night, you know? And yeah, last night I was up till 2 in the morning watching content from Tony Robbins.
Oh my goodness.
It's a never-ending, insatiable appetite for learning that's going to help you succeed in this business and in this life. So if you have that, that's great. If you just want to be mediocre, you know, that's okay too.
Yeah.
I read a quote recently where they said, what's the difference between average and mediocre? And the answer was not much. So I thought that was cool. And I teach my kids the same way. You know, I'm teaching them karate so they can work on focus and character and confidence and discipline and respect for authority. And, you know, it's just, you know, the little things that we do every day add up to the big things over the course of a lifetime. And I don't want people to think this is a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow business. You know, money's not going to fall out of the sky if you sign up for a program. You know, it won't work if you don't work. You know, I always tell people that. It won't work if you don't work. So if you think you're going to pay someone to teach you and then you're not going to do the work, guess what? It's not going to work. The last thing that I'll tell you that I always tell my clients, you know, because I get the phone calls like a therapist does, you know, like Tony Robbins does. It's like, oh, my dog was sick and I was too tired. And I said, listen, you can make money or you can make excuses. You can't do both. And once I say that, I call them on their BS.
Yes.
And then they're like, you're right. You're right.
You're right. The number of people, I so feel you. I could just go on. I love the fact that you said you don't know what you don't know. Yesterday, one of our speakers, Lysandra Everett, said the same thing.
Oh, yeah?
You know what you don't know. And so you should always be learning, which is one of the other things that we also said yesterday. So I'm glad. There's so many other questions I want to ask you, but I know that we're getting close to out of time. I'll just leave maybe one last question, and then I thank you for your time.
Sure.
So we'll make sure that people know how to connect with Sam and his consulting services. Clearly, he's been doing this longer than the majority of us that have been on this journey, and we're grateful for all the knowledge that he shared with us today. If you don't think he shared knowledge, then clearly you haven't been active in your business, because he literally gave you a bunch of golden nuggets sprinkled in between a conversation. So I'm going to go back and rewatch this, okay? And I'm going to make some notes.
Me too.
Make some changes. So one of the last things is that when people come to you and they are ready to get started to make a change in their business, what data should they have on hand or ready to, or either start compiling, just so they can begin the conversation with you and your team?
So originally what we do is a discovery call. We get a sense of who they are and where they're at and what their goals are and what their, you know, business experiences and what their life experiences. And it's really more about discovery. It's not about data at that point, because if someone doesn't have the right mindset, they're not going to succeed, even with all the tools in the world. And if someone, you know, has the right mindset, they're going to succeed without any of the tools. So, you know, Tony Robbins likes to say it's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. So when I started this business, I had no clue what I was doing. I had very little money. All I had was time. And guess what? I worked 18 hours a day. There were days I was crying because I couldn't figure out how to print a freaking label. And it was a long road of, you know, frustration And I must have typed that phrase into Google a million times. How do I sell on Amazon? How do I sell on Amazon? Hoping to get different results each time I typed it. And I was on the phones with Amazon and UPS and the printer maker and anybody who had heard anything about selling on Amazon. I was just picking their brains till it made sense to me. And it took me 6 months to actually see serious results, you know?
So for those of you that are starting or you've been on your journey, if you go back and watch the replay today, and that he gave a lot of great golden nuggets. For the next 6 months, make a concerted effort in your business to focus on the things that he said he mentioned. He mentioned several things because they go back and they do an extensive analysis. If you want to connect with Sam and his team, we'll make sure you have the ability to do that. And just make the investment in your business hardcore, head down for the next 6 months. Trust me, it's March. So for the next 6 months, that's now until September.
Yep.
Remember, you'll be into Q4 at that point anyway. But if you make a concerted effort, you will see your business drastically change between now and September. And then by the time September, you will have an amazing Q4 if you make the investment.
And by the way, I just want to add that, you know, the consulting business is a labor of love of mine. It fulfills me. And while we do charge money because we have to pay people, if anybody needs any help and can't afford our services, have them feel free to reach out to me, email us, and we'll be happy to help them. You know, obviously we can't give them all of our time, but we'd be happy to help them in, you know, we do free consultations for some of the biggest companies in the world, and then they don't hire us, and then they come back a year later and they're like, hey, we should have hired you a year ago. So we're very happy to help people for free. If we're going to engage, then obviously we have to charge proportionate with our time and our overhead. But yeah, if anybody gets suspended, if anybody gets, nasty letters from Amazon or some, you know, things that scare the crap out of them, you know, we've seen it all, and we have connections very high up at Amazon that could help, solve most of the problems.
All right. Well, Sam, I am so glad that we connected. I'm going to get with your team right after this. So if one of them could, I'm going to go, my phone is in another room so it wouldn't interrupt us. We could connect immediately, and I will make sure that I share the information out to the team so that they know what they need to do to either grab their ticket to your event in June, if they want to connect with you regarding your consulting services. And if you didn't get your all access pass, he's giving away one free $5,000 membership. Get your all access pass because you could be winner.
How much is that all access pass?
Right now it's $147.
Okay, and then it gives you what, lifetime access to all the speakers?
Yes, they get lifetime access to all the speaker recordings plus access to all the speaker bonuses. And yours is a one-time giveaway. So the price is $147 now. The price will be going to $197. But yes, at the time of this recording, which happens to be March the 14th, it is one.
So I would buy that just to hear the other speakers.
Yeah, see. And he has plenty of money. Okay. I'm just saying, if you're not willing to make an investment in your business,
I have an insatiable appetite for learning.
There you go.
My best attribute as an entrepreneur.
That is the best attribute.
For you, young lady, how do I get my hair like that?
I tell people all the time, my hair has its own zip code. I pat it down, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'm just happy it grows back on me, you know. after I cut it, I'm like, is it coming back? Is it coming back?
Your hair looks fabulous. You don't want this. I literally have to pat it down and walk in the rooms. So
that's great.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
My pleasure. And like I said, if anyone wants to reach out to me or my staff, we're here 24/7. You know, happy to help people on the same. We're all on the same journey. We all have the same struggles, and some of us just started sooner than the others. You know, that's really the only difference.
There you go. And we all start at the same place. I tell people all the time,
Yep.
That you see that are making millions and millions of dollars on Amazon started in the same place. He said
Oh,
his apartment. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I had no clue, and I had no
No,
support, and I had no money.
and no money. So
I had time, and I had resourcefulness, and I had God. That's it.
and you can't go wrong if you got God. Hello,
Yeah.
somebody.
People don't like to hear about God in business, but hey, that's what I believe. You know?
There you go. Well, let me get the information so I can share it into the room real quick for everyone. And I am so glad that you took the time. I don't know your availability. I sent you another message, so you'll let me know if you're available or not. But thank you so much for your
When is that?
at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time if you have the availability.
So I'm going to be on my way to New York City for a meeting. I can possibly do it on the cell phone if that works for you.
That works. And again, I don't want to put you out. I thank you for your time right now. Your time is valuable to me personally. So
My pleasure.
My
pleasure. Happy to help.
All right. I'm getting ready to call your team and I will get the information shared in the room. Thank you, Sam.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nicole. Take care.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.